Hi folks, and welcome to Schick Happens. In today's Ohio Country Life vlog, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything, including the wet snow we got last night. It's been a real weird winter here this year in Northwest Ohio. I'm not complaining, it's actually been pretty mild. But anyway, let's go take a ride around the property. There's a couple of things I want to show you. A little crappy out with this rain on top of all that snow we got last night. There's also been a few subscribers that asked when I was going to fire up the smoker. Yeah, I know it looks like an outhouse, but I can do 25 chickens in that at a time. I'll definitely be firing that up this spring and making a video on that for sure. It's served me well over the last 7-8 years. I built this deer blind about 8-9 years ago, and the whole outside I made it out of particle board. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better. And every couple of years I just keep adding paint and adding paint. But I think what I'm going to do is get some cedar offcuts and wrap this. Here, let me explain. Okay, so the blind I was just standing next to, what I want to do this spring is face that with cedar. And out at the sawmill that I help a guy run occasionally, they got a ton of cedar poles, utility poles. It's what I made my last cedar blind with. On that blind, I used clean faces and ran them horizontally all around the outside of that blind. This one here, the outside edge of this, the cup section is missing. We actually trimmed some of these down to see if we could use these boards, but there's stacks of these cedar poles, off-cut edges with the round outside edge still showing. This blind here, I want to face the whole thing with these poles. It'll kind of look like a log cabin when it's done, only they'll be running vertically instead of horizontally. I know that don't sound like it look good, but it really does. And it'll preserve the outside of that blind for years to come. And it'll give it a nice touch too. So that'll be a project that I'll be working on this spring, I'm sure. Along with getting this wrapped, I might be building another cedar deer blind this spring or summer. Not for me, but for a friend. And if I do, I'll make a video out of that as well. But I think wrapping this whole thing in cedar is going to give that a lot longer life expectancy than if I just leave it the way it is. I am happy to report that over the last couple of weeks I haven't seen any fresh otter sign, and that makes me happy. I think they got a few fish out of this body of water here. It's been a couple weeks here and moved on. I really liked how this blind turned out. It's the one I built last summer, late summer, early fall. It's all mostly cedar, at least the outside. Another question I get asked a lot here is, what camera am I using? And for the first 40 of the 90 videos I've done, it was just with the cheap Lumix digital camera that was probably 6-7 years old. And then Joe at Capper Outdoors was gracious enough to send me one of his Canons. It's a SX20 IS, I think. which is what I've been using. I'm using now for the other 40-50 videos. So I really like it. It's easy to use, and the quality is great, especially compared to the camera I was using. Every once in a while I get asked in the comment section what kind of heating system I use out in the barn here. And what I have is a radiant heat system. It's the Vantage 2. I got a big horseshoe shaped section here, and then down at the end got another long skinny unit separately. And they both run on thermostats. I can run one, the other, run both, turn them both off. But this does a super job of getting this barn to room temperature for working conditions in the wintertime. I would probably say on mild winters I can get through 2 seasons on one 500-gallon tank. If we got a really cold winter, and I'm out in the shop here almost daily in the winter, whether the wood shop or working on something, I darn near might go through one of those 500-gallon tanks in one season. But this really does the job for me. Still out at about 62%. I'll have no issues getting through the rest of the winter with this. And then come summer, when the prices are the cheapest, I'll get it topped back off. Over the last couple months, I've also had a couple subscribers in the comment section ask about these traps and if I could do a trapping video. For many years, I wrote articles for magazines on trapping, and I do a lot of trapping myself. I'm just not going to get into that with this channel. I'm not going to show sets and catches, dispatches, any of that. There's too many other channels that cover that. Let them do that. But I do think here down the road soon, I might do a video about trapping and maybe field some questions down in the comment section. And just talk about some of the things I do, why I trap, some of the things I've caught, some of the states I've been in. I do think that would make a good video, and I do plan on putting something like that together down the road here. So yes, there'll be a trapping video, but not in the fashion that a lot of guys go to a channel and look to see catches and all that. It's just not going to happen here. Thanks for joining me here today on Schick Happens for this Ohio Country Life vlog. I got to get going on some things here. I got to finish shoveling, get the cars cleaned off, and I probably should run into town and get some more chicken feed. They're getting kind of low. And I think I'm going to try to get into a routine or a schedule for videos of posting one on a Monday and one on a Friday, just to help keep my schedule better in line. So I hope that works out for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.